Tiffin. The best filters now brings you FilterFlex, the best way to use them. The lightweight way to master your heavyweight production needs. FilterFlex is fast, affordable, with fingertip positioning. Both you and your images will look very cool. This video is designed as a companion to the FilterFlex manual. We'll show you exactly how to install and operate the easy-to-use FilterFlex, and then we'll give you some tips on filtering. I'm Peter Nolan, and I'll show you just how to use the FilterFlex system. It's that easy. The FilterFlex is designed to work with a wide range of cameras. You will need the proper adapter C-ring to attach the FilterFlex to your particular camera. Here we are using a Sony DVW700 digital Betacam with a Fujinon 15x8 lens and an 85mm C-ring adapter. Standard C-ring lens adapters are available for lenses with outer diameters of 75, 80, 85, 90, and 100 millimeters. Consult your dealer for other sizes. Mounting the FilterFlex is literally a snap. Loosen the lens mount lock knob and snap the C-ring adapter into place. It's best to position the slot at the bottom, opposite the lock knob. With the C-ring in place, position the FilterFlex on the front of the lens barrel so that it seats itself fully. In order to align the lens shade properly, position the lock knob at the top. Hold the unit in place and tighten the lock knob until firm. Do not over-tighten. Now let's talk about mounting the FilterFlex on an external focus lens. You'll only have to do this once. You'll need a clean flat surface and a small Phillips head and a small flathead screwdriver. In order for this lens to rotate and move independently from the FilterFlex, a special ball bearing mount and bracket is required. The lens stop is a three-piece assembly that is adjustable to fit many types of lenses. Remove the fork adjustment screw from the lens stop. Slide the lens stop fork to remove it from the front and rear lens stop supports. The lens stop is designed for mounting to the lens handle. Remove the two screws which currently attach the handle to the top of the lens. Select the screw type from the package that best fits in the screw positions on your lens, but do not use screws that are too long or that thread incorrectly. Now this is important. Take the front lens stop and insert the front screw. Make sure that the amount the screw extends is equal to or less than the length of the original screw. Do the same with the second screw. Now that you are certain the new screws are the right length, make sure the angles on the bottom of both the front and the rear lens stops match. Position the front and rear lens stops on the lens. Insert one screw into the countersunk hole in the front lens stop. The screw may have to go in at an angle. Carefully tighten. The second screw is inserted through the countersunk slot and into the hole in the rear lens stop. Do not over-tighten. Do not over-tighten. Slide the fork over the two lens stop supports and install the fork adjustment screw, but do not tighten it just yet. Remove the small retaining screw and unthread the stop knob from the clamp stop assembly. Now, see this little screw? Remember it because we will come back to it later. Separate the plastic clamp stops and reassemble through the slot on the top of the lens mount so that the pin extends away from the rest of the FilterFlex. The assembled unit should slide along the slot, yet be tightened to hold it in position when aligned with the lens stop. Now we can mount the FilterFlex on your external focus lens. Loosen the lock knob on the top of the lens mount. Snap fit the appropriate C-ring adapter into the mating groove on the lens mount. Position the FilterFlex on the front of the lens barrel so that the stop knob pin slides into the lens stop fork slot. The lens shade should also be horizontal. To position the lock knob so that when the lens barrel turns it doesn't hit anything, rack the lens to extreme close-up focus. Then tighten the lock knob at the top. Adjust the positions of both the clamp stop knob and the lens stop fork until they stay aligned through all motions of the lens during focus and zooming. Slide the fork as close to the FilterFlex clamp stop as you can without touching it. Then tighten the fork adjustment screw. Now we're ready to rock and roll. Today I've got a client who wants a sunset, but I'm facing the eastern sky at noon. The FilterFlex uses filters 4 inches wide by any standard length. Insert the filter between the white guide rollers at the top end of the filter stage and push until the brakes offer resistance. It may help to gently tilt the filter from side to side while pushing lightly in until the break is cleared. Push the filter further until the plastic pins on both sides of the finger wheel protrude. Use the finger wheel for fine-tuned positioning of the filter. Once a filter is inserted, the finger wheel provides precise control for positioning the filter. Use the contoured top or bottom surface of the finger wheel housing to brace the opposing thumb or forefinger when turning the wheel. As you turn the finger wheel to lower a filter inserted from the top, the filter will eventually move down past the top brake, which will retract and put resistance on the finger wheel. At this point, stop turning the finger wheel because that is as far down as the filter should be moved. Any further and the filter may fall through. Push the filter back in from the bottom until both brake pins pop out. Use the finger wheel in this manner to position a filter or to push the filter up or down for removal. It's easiest to remove the filters from the top. Never force the finger wheel once a brake is activated. As the filter moves in the filter stage, the parallel springs hold it parallel to the lens, minimizing internal reflection problems. If the action of the finger wheel is either too tight or too loose, raise the bridge and turn the adjustment knob until the movement is comfortable. This adjusts the tension on the horizontal spring to accommodate minor variation in filter width. Once the filter is properly positioned, it can be locked in place by additional tightening of the screw. Remember to loosen the screw to reposition or to remove the filter. 4x4 filters should be inserted from the top as far down as you can reach until your finger touches the top of the filter stage. From here, use the finger wheel for further positioning. Slots in the sides of the stage by the guide rollers allow you to sight where the filter is in the filter stage. Center a 4x4 filter by aligning it with the upper or lower edges of these slots. Now I want to give Susan a really special look. I want to change filters. Turn the finger wheel until the filter comes up. Grip the filter on the sides to avoid any fingerprints. Now I can put in my Pro Mist. The FilterFlex lens shade is specially designed to be lightweight as well as to eliminate glare and provide protection for the front of your lens. The durable matte finish of the flocked interior minimizes the possibility of internal light reflections. The shade bridge connects the lens mount and the lens shade. This prevents the shade from turning when you rotate the filter stages. Before rotating a filter stage, swing the shade bridge out just enough for a proper clearance. When you don't need the additional clearance or for storage, fold the shade bridge back against the FilterFlex body. The bridge can accommodate up to 3 filters. Using the lens shade is literally a snap. The unique mechanism lets you swing it out of the way without totally removing it. This allows easy access to the front of the lens. Simply loosen the knurled lock knob on the top front of the shade mount. The shade pivots sideways and hangs down from the pivot pin. You can easily lift the shade up and off the pivot pin, or leave it there safely out of the way where it won't get lost or stepped on, especially out on location. Hold the shade upside down so that the slot in the shade flange is at the bottom. Fit the hole in the shade flange over the pivot pin so that the shade is in the swing-away position. Make sure the lock knob is loose enough for proper clearance. Rotate the shade counterclockwise until the slot fits in around the threaded portion of the lock knob, and simply tighten the knob. Grip the filter stage at any convenient point, such as the finger wheel housing, and turn each stage to the desired position. The plastic cam lock handle is located next to the adjustment screw. When the handle is pressed in close to the filter stage, the stage is free to rotate. To lock the rotation, place your thumb on the tip of the adjustment screw for leverage and use your index finger to pull out the cam lock handle until it stops. This will lock that stage to the component next closest to the lens. The cam lock is designed to be just strong enough to prevent the stage from accidentally moving in normal use. If you want to lock both stages, first lock the filter stage closest to the lens, then lock the second stage to the first. To rotate filters one at a time, position the first filter closest to the lens. Pull out its cam lock handle to keep it stationary. Now you can rotate the second. To position a third filter, follow the same procedure to lock the second. To rotate all filters together, lock the cam lock on the stage nearest the lens shade, and do not lock the cam lock on the stage nearest the lens. Right. That looked great, Susan. Let's return to the clean control of a tabletop so we can reconfigure the FilterFlex. Reconfiguring should be done with the FilterFlex off of the camera and on a clean, flat surface. The FilterFlex is held together by plastic assembly clips. They produce a spring action that minimizes metal-to-metal contact for smoother rotation. There are 2 clips for each component connection. To remove a clip, press in on the center arch. Place your finger under one angled edge and push it up. Remove the other clip the same way. Be sure to lay things out in the order you remove them to avoid confusion. Things may fit quite tightly when the filter flex is fresh out of the box. The shade bridge can be carefully separated for further disassembly by sliding out the square bar. To separate the other components, remove clips in the same way. To reassemble the filter flex, just reverse the process. Now, for those of you who have external focus lenses, remember that little screw from before? Here's where you can install it once and for all. Disassemble the lens mount like I showed you. Here is where that little screw goes. To be sure the détente spring doesn't get caught, push it out of the way or slip the mating component under it carefully to clear. Once the components are aligned, insert the tab of an assembly clip into one slot so that it engages the groove in the adjacent component. Press in on the center arch until the second tab snaps into the other slot. Push in lightly at the center of the arches of opposing pairs of clips and then pull the two components apart slightly to be sure that the clips have properly seated. Rotation should be smooth. Align the parts of the shade bridge. Filter flex accessories like the French flag, carrying case, and filter stage are available through your dealer. With the filter flex and a polarizing filter, you can see through windows and greatly lessen glare. For commercial or event shoots, use the filter flex system when you don't have time or control over light sources. Now you know what the best in the business have known for years. A matte box system really enhances the quality of your work. And the filter flex system does just what the much more expensive systems do, only faster, easier, and less expensively to make both you and your images look really cool. Okay, so do it again. Good. Oh, God! Why couldn't I have been rolling on that? Actually, you were rolling, though, right? Watch, tilt it down, there's a little sand in the front.
Put that rock there.
Props! Did you have that coral half? It was half like that?
No,
It didn't fall out.
Gotta love those détente springs. Okay, on this one, Mark, watch out for the rock.